Hello, my name is Brant Hunt. My channel is simply Discerning What is True. Today is the first day of February 2026. I'm going to be reading from another particular, the same book I've been reading for the last couple of weeks. It's just simply called Kabbalah and Exodus. The particular author's name is Halevi, Halevi, his last name. He was a Kabbalist, probably approximately, I don't know, 50 years ago, maybe a little longer. And we're going to read one of his, again, we're going to go through what I call a book called Kabbalah and Exodus. This is one of the books he wrote. And the chapter we're going to be reading is chapter 25. Well, it's actually chapter 27, but it's from Exodus chapter 25. And it's simply called Readiness. And this section here is a different section. After we're going into a book called second section of the book called Knowledge of Existence. Okay, so let me set this up the way I like it to be. Hope everyone is doing okay today. So again, like I said, this is chapter 27 of the book. This is actually a second part of the book. It's called Readiness. This particular chapter is from Exodus 25. The 25th chapter of Exodus opens with the words, quote, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel that they bring me a offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, you shall take my offering." End quote. This statement by the divine before the description of the pattern of the tabernacle is crucial in that it says that a man must give the Lord something of his heart. In Kabbalah, this is the triad of the soul, composed of the emotional sephirah of justice and mercy, or discipline and love, and Tiferet, the sephirah of beauty and truth. In rabbinical tradition, God says, quote, "Do not think you are giving these gifts in repayment for the things I did for you in Egypt, when I clothed and shot you by the Egyptian who heaps upon you. No, you shall give your contributions towards the sanctuary because you wish to." End quote. So this statement sets up a connection or a correct understanding of wealth and its proper use, thereby defining the way an individual should apply his physical skills and psychological gifts to aid in the growth and building of an inner spiritual sanctuary. Yes, it's not an outer sanctuary, it is an inner sanctuary. The text then goes on to make out a list of materials that are gold, silver, and brass, blue, purple, and scarlet dyes, fine linen, goat's hair, ram skins, red dye, badges, I should say, no, I'm sorry, not badges, but badgers, skins, and chitin, wood, oil, spices, onyx, and other stones to be used in the priestly garments. And so he's got a drawing here of a circle. And he's showing this, I'm just kind of revealing this here. So I'm just going to go through this because it's kind of important. And the tabernacle is within the circle, the smallest circle, which is with the Levites. It's also the Kohathites. That's Kohathites. And then the bottom part is called the Mararites, Mararites. And let me see if I can see this other part here. The part to the west is called Gershonites, and to the east is Moses and Aaron. And this is a circle, one circle. There's 3 circles here. Then there's another circle, which will reveal simply at the very top of the tribes of Israel. So the one it starts out with here is at the north is Aquarius, that is the astrological sign. But in the tribes, it is considered the Asher, A-S-H-E-R. The next one to the right is Pisces, which is Nabbatal, if I can pronounce that right. The next one to the, continue going clockwise, is the next one, which is Aries, which is the ram sign, and that's Judah. The next one to the east, which is the east, is Taurus, which is Issachar. The next one going down, now it's going down to what we call Gemini, which is Zebulun. The next one down is simply Cancer, which is represented by the tribe of Reuben. Now at the very south is the astrological sign Leo, which is another fire sign. You know, you have all these ones have, there are 4 elements. One's represented by the fire, which are 3 of these. 3 of those is also represented by the earth. 3 of these are also represented by the air. And then 3 of these are represented by the what's the one? I'm trying to think of the one, the 4th one here. Water. Okay, so the one at the south is called Leo, and this is represented by the tribe called Simon. This is all interconnected here, folks. This is a long time ago. They knew this stuff. Okay. The next sign, going now to the back up to the north, so to speak, to the east, so the west, I should say, is Virgo, which is Gad, G-A-D. Next one is also Libra, which is Ephraim. Now on the west side is Scorpio, which is represented by the who's this, guys? This is all Menashaw, I think Menashaw, I should say. And now the one that's facing going towards the north is the next one called Sagittarius, which is Benjamin. The next one is to the what we call the last one here is making it 12th one would be Dan. This is represented by Capricorn. So there are 3 signs of the fire sign. There's Aries. There is Leo. And then there's, I think it's pretty sure it's Sagittarius, as well as I recollect. So this is what this represents here. Okay. So this is from a figure here. It's called just 13 tribes and tabernacles. In ancient Jewish myth, the tribes were encamped in this way. So this is where they encamped at around. Okay, around the whole tabernacle, according to the zodiac, with the Levites in the middle. Okay, remember they're the ones that are the special ones because they're the priests. This double circle represents the 12 gateways of the spirit, with the inner core of initial humanity closest to the esoteric centers symbolized by the tabernacle. So we go back to what we're reading from, and other stories to be used in the primary garments. And those stones also are represented. I don't have I do have a picture, I think, in here. Well, it's kind of here. It's not in color, but it is these stones here. You'll see, which is particular garment this guy is wearing, which is the Jews' garment, Israelites. And you can see there are actually 12 of them, 3, 3, 3, 3. So they all add up to 12. And these were represented by stones. And I don't know which ones represent the particular astrological signs. So that's something I've got to learn. Where are we at here? The fact that the Israelites were deep in the desert clearly indicated that they had to draw upon their own resources. In other words, no one's going to take care of them. That is, except God. The psychological parallel is exact. In work on the soul, a person cannot rely on anyone else, nor can he borrow or even steal anything that will enhance him. The materials listed have esoteric significance, internal. For example, gold, which is to be worked into a fine state, represents lower emanation, while ordinary gold symbolizes the world of creation. Silver symbolizes the world of formation, and brass the world of action. The various colors likewise symbolize the three lower levels of existence. Sky, being blue, is for heaven. Purple is the mixture of blue and red, the world of the soul. And scarlet, the color of blood and earth, for the world of action. The white linen is the base material and color for the divine ground of emanation. The site of the tabernacle is to be at the hub of the Israelite camp, which is to arrange according to the 4 divisions of the 12 tribes or human types. Their subdivisions, I should say, are expressed by the 4 elementary temperaments associated with the 4 worlds. Here, actions represented by earth, formation by water, creation by air, and emanation by fire. Thus, the surrounding circle to the nucleus of the tabernacle is to be cosmic in conception, and set each tribe at the point had a sign of the zodiac in figure 13. According to rabbinical tradition, the standards of the tribes were arranged in their zodiacal sequence, with Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun in the east, Reuben, Simon, and Gad to the south, Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin in the west, and Dan, and Asher, and Naphtali to the north. So each one to represent, again, it's 3, and then there are 4 elements, and they're all represented by 3 different signs within the particular astrological signs, and those tribes fit in those particular 4 regions, 1 of each one, 3 of each one in there, so it makes a total of 12. The same thing with the disciples, which we know there are 12 disciples also. On the inside of the tribes, between them and the tabernacle itself, were to be priestly tribe of Levi. These in turn were divided into 4 clans of Merari to the south, spelled Merati. Merari, to the south. Gershon, Gershom, in the west. Kohath, Kohath, to the north, and Moses and Aaron and his sons in the east. Yeah, remember the 3 wise men came from the east. Remember the story there. This honor was because the tribe of Levi had carried out the precepts of the patriarchs throughout the bondage in Egypt, thus keeping alive the memory of higher worlds, while the other Israelites copied the customs of the Egyptians. This loyalty to God of the forefathers earned them the privilege and duty of guarding and serving the sanctuary. Moses was of this clan, and by becoming its leader, inevitably ruled the other tribes as chief priest and king of Israel in all but name. His early training in the Egyptian court and with Jethro had been carefully fated by providence. Seen on the individual level, the arrangement of the camp represents the idea of an ordering of the outer psychological elements according to the zodiac temperaments of each tribe. So the more refined and deeper aspects of the psyche formed by long and diligent devotion, and it has in brackets the Levites, end quote, make up an inner place in relation to work and worship. This interior layer is composed of those parts of us that have combined to give the psyche the beginning of some unity and stability. These interior Levites come easily under spiritual discipline, while the outer circle of Israelites are quickly distracted by external matters or intertwined tribal conflicts within the psyche. The division of the Levites into 4 clans reveals the 4 traditional approaches of ritual, devotion, contemplation, and mysticism. Here were the ways of action, emotion, and intellect, with the clan of Aaron to represent mystical dimension. According to the Talmud, the space at the center of the circle of Israelites is to be the site of the tabernacle. This is not only to be the focus on the divine on earth, but the center of holiness for all the nations of the world. There now follows the specifications for the Miskan, M-I-S-K-A-N, or place of the dwelling where the holy Shekinah can reside. And they have a picture here of the ark. And it goes in here, it says, made by Bezida, whose name means, quote, in the shadow of God, end quote. The ark is constructed of acacia wood covered with the finest of fine gold, surrounded by a crown of flames. The mercy seat top has 2 cherubims whose wings from the space wherein the Shekinah, the divine presence, dwells. Here is the place where the absolute and relative meet and the divine may speak deep within a man. And that is the conclusion of this particular reading today. Again, this is a very short chapter he's going through here, but we'll start another chapter in a few minutes also. Again, this is entitled Readiness. This is based upon the book of Exodus, and this is chapter 25. Now, I wanted to say something here also. The whole idea is this is all spiritual. So what it means simply is that it means the exiting of what we call the physical nature, and to be enlightened with the spiritual, you see. And Kabbalah also has what we call 3 particular areas. We have a pillar on the right, a pillar on the left, and a pillar in the middle. And there are 22 paths, which I've spoken of earlier, which is symbolized by the book of Revelation. It's also symbolized by the tarot cards also, with the Rider-Waite tarot cards, is what I understand. So we're going to end this point. Thank you for listening. Today is the first day of February 2026. So 1 month is already complete in the new calendar year, that is. So thank you for listening. And I wish you a good evening and a good morning, wherever you're at. And you take care. We'll talk soon.